There's this place I know called Conneaut Lake Park. It started in the small town of Crawford County, Pennsylvania. In the early 1900s, it was known as Exposition Park. The rides back then weren't always the safest, but they sure were fun. Later, it was known by its namesake, Conneaut Lake Park. In its glory days, it was one of the best parks around. The quaint little park was once a place of laughter, joy, and fun. I wasn't born when the park was in its glory days. But, according to my mother, who was able to experience its splendor firsthand, it was wonderful. When you pull up to the park, you can instantly see the famous Blue Streak roller coaster and hear the delighted screams of the riders as it whizzes by. You can hear the repetitive clacking of the chains as they carry the coaster up the track to the crest of the hill, the collective intake of breath as it pauses at the top, and you get a bird's eye view of the whole park. And then, your stomach drops, and you're falling. Down, 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 seemingly faster and farther than you've ever fallen before. You throw your arms up, your head tipped back in combined screams of fear and delight, your hair whipping around in the wind, and your neck jerking back and forth as the roller coaster violently rumbles along the ancient wooden track. If you wanted to, you could get into the park for free and just walk around. The beach was always so crowded, with mothers slathering sunblock on their children as they tried to wriggle free from their slippery grasp, to the people laying out, their bodies slick with suntan oil as the sun beats down upon them, turning their skin into a leathery brown. Between the water ski shows and the boat rides on the Barbara J, the beach was perpetually packed with people. The Dreamland Ballroom had bands and dances on the weekends, where you could go on your very first date, palms sweating, hearts fluttering, nervous laughter, perhaps even sharing the same dance floor as couples that have danced there over 1,000 times before. The incessant traffic of people traveling up and down the Midway forced you to hold on tight to your mother's hand or sit perched atop your father's broad shoulders just so you wouldn't get lost. You were able to go to an enchanted place known as Fairyland Forest and be a part of the stories your parents read to you at bedtime. It was magical. Today it sits, abandoned, neglected, and in ruin. A mere ghost of what it once was, ravaged by arsonists, vandals, and the slow decay of time. Perhaps the memories of its former glory years were too strong and far too much to handle, and the only way to get rid of them was to get rid of the very place that they came from. Perhaps, though, this place was erased by people completely and utterly oblivious to the meaning it held for so many. This place is so fond in memory to many who spent their summers there, riding and laughing, that they have created efforts to restore the park to what it once was. Sometimes the park gets a glimpse of its glory days. People come back to relive the days when they were young, to relive the moments, and to share with their own children something so sacred, to see the joy and the wonder on their faces the way that their parents once did. But even then, they just get a taste of what once was. When the car show is in town, and on some holiday weekends, you can almost see the park as it used to be. However, the facade only lasts so long. Eventually, everyone leaves, the park closes, and it becomes the desolate, barren wasteland it is now known best for. Hopefully someday it will once again become the entrancing place it used to be, and perhaps the melancholy forsaken grounds will once again be filled with people and the laughter of children, but for now, it just sits, remaining a painful reminder of what once was something so magnificent. I wish I could have been around to see what it used to be like, and maybe someday it will once again return to its former splendor, and I will be able to enjoy the park like so many before me. But even if that never happens, the park will live on endlessly as a memory.